Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for yet another video. I know, sometimes there's none, then all of a sudden it's like a London bus. 3 of them come around in one day. So if you do like that, make sure you're subscribed to GBFC, turn on the bell notifications so that you don't miss anything over the course of the next 48 hours before the transfer window closes. This video is 5 potential signings that Chelsea could possibly make before deadline day. I'm going to say that two of them I actually believe are going to happen. One of them I think happens if one of those two doesn't happen, and the other 2 are a little bit out there, but certainly not without the realms of probability, possibility, and would I like it? Probably yes. And I'm going to discuss my reasons why for all 5 of those players in this video today. We begin with the first one that I think is probably the most likely of all of them. We're going to talk about where that deal is at right now. Do I think it will happen? And is it a good signing for Chelsea? The first one is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Chelsea have had personal terms agreed with Aubameyang for 2 weeks, apparently, which is good. That's part of the deal that you need. You also need Barcelona to stop being so bloody difficult and accept the offer that Chelsea have put in for Aubameyang. We wanted to spend a lot less than the 30 million euros that Barcelona have quoted and therefore demanded for Aubameyang. Do I think this deal is going to happen? Of all of the forwards that I'm going to talk about in this video, because there's a couple more, so make sure you stay to the end to see and let me know in the comments which one or which multiple of these 5 potential Chelsea signings before deadline day you want to see, and what do you think is going to happen. Aubameyang, I think, is the most likely of all of the forwards that Chelsea could sign because the personal terms are agreed. The player is ready for the move. It's up to Barcelona to sanction this transfer. Do I think in the end Chelsea are going to increase their offer? I don't know if we're going to make it up to the 30 million euros. We've also got Marcos Alonso as a potential bargaining chip within this transfer. Barcelona wanted to deal with the signing that they have of Alonso separately. Alonso's already agreed personal terms with Barcelona, so I do think that as time goes on in the next 48 hours, Chelsea may only have one more shot left to push Alonso as part of this deal, or if we don't go for some of the alternatives, we've heard rumours in the past 24 hours that Chelsea are looking more reluctant towards Aubameyang due to Barcelona's inability to nudge down on their asking price of 30 million. I do think this is still likely to happen. Do I want it to happen? I'm going to say yes, because I do think that 2 of the other forward transfers, maybe one so more than the other one, but we're going to go with the midfielder next. I do think there is more or too much work potentially that might need to be done in order for Chelsea to get a different forward over the line as opposed to what's already been agreed with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So I do think this one might happen. We move into another Barcelona player who Chelsea have been linked with throughout the transfer window, Frenkie De Jong. Now, there's interesting movements with Frenkie De Jong, and I'm not talking about transfer movements because he's always said he wants to stay at Barcelona. Xavi would like to keep Frenkie De Jong at Barcelona. The reason that Frenkie De Jong hasn't left, or therefore hasn't signed a new contract at Barcelona to confirm that he's staying at Barcelona, is because Barcelona want to cut his wages. Frenkie De Jong is not happy to sign a new deal with those new salary commitments that Barcelona would like him to agree to. Frenkie De Jong is also owed a significant amount of money from Barcelona in unpaid wages, which is why Frenkie De Jong has been open if Barcelona are willing to sell to a move away this summer. Manchester United were interested. Well, what's the issue here? They signed Casemiro. They've gone and splashed 100 million euros on Anthony. So will they go and make a final push for De Jong? Probably not, but also Frenkie De Jong wants to play Champions League football. Liverpool also came into the race for Frenkie De Jong, but we talk about De Jong's movements. Frenkie De Jong just so happens right now to be in London. And we know how logistics work in all of these deadline day deals and just slightly prior to deadline day deals, Chelsea are going to be feeling pressure right now. Thomas Tuchel has also said in the past 12 hours in his press conference before Southampton that we're short in the midfield. He thought there was going to be 5 players, but now there's suspensions. There's also injuries. Chelsea looks short in the middle. So, is it possible, having already spoken with Barcelona regarding Frenkie De Jong, having already spoken with the player who is reportedly open to a move to Chelsea because of that Champions League football, is it possible that Chelsea could get a deal done for Frenkie De Jong in the next 48 hours? I think there might actually be some movement here over the course of time before the deadline day window closes. So I would keep an eye on this one. I think Chelsea can still go in towards Barcelona and make an offer. Barcelona are having a really good start to the season. Xavi, after their brilliant performance at the weekend, I actually watched some of the game. They look absolutely brilliant. Lewandowski could have scored with a header and then he goes and scores a couple. So I do think there could be, if Chelsea go for this and Todd Boehly looks at Tuchel's comments, he looks at the midfield, and I do think Chelsea need a midfielder. And I think the good thing about Frenkie De Jong is he can play a bit deeper. So it does allow Kante to still go forward. It allows Kovacic to also do the same. And because at the moment, when we're looking at the Chelsea squad, we've got Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, both over 30. Aspi also over 30. Yes, Fofana's already come in, basically. We're just waiting for the medical. But we've got a lot of young players and a lot of older players. And if we also look at Aubameyang potentially coming in, which I think signing De Jong wouldn't affect Aubameyang, that's another over 30 players. So Chelsea need players around that 26 age mark where we're not just buying players to fix a temporary issue. We've got youngsters who can continue to develop in the squad. We've got experience, but we need players around Frenkie De Jong's age. Do I think this will happen? I think that if it would have happened, it probably would have happened already. Should it? At this point, I'm going to say yes. I think Frenkie De Jong would be a great signing, but I think this one is probably in the middle of all of these 5 potential signings. We move into Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, Aubameyang, if this one doesn't happen, Thomas Tuchel has already said that he didn't want to sign Cristiano Ronaldo when given the opportunity to sign him this summer. Boehly was open to the move, and we've got to remember, Ronaldo is a cash cow, in a sense, on an economic level. If Chelsea were to bring Ronaldo in, you know you're going to make your money back. Manchester United, he's been dropped. How is Ronaldo going to react to this? Is there going to be movement from Mendes in the final 2 days here of the window where Ronaldo is not getting any younger? He knows that he needs to be playing Champions League football this season. Otherwise, maybe he doesn't get an opportunity again. We've seen links to Atletico Madrid. We've seen links to Napoli. We've seen links to Roma, I think, at some point as well. Links to Bayern. There's been so many different links with Cristiano Ronaldo. The Chelsea one came up a few weeks ago. It cooled off when Tuchel wasn't interested. But if Aubameyang doesn't sign, I do think maybe there could be a madness from Todd Boehly and Chelsea on the final day or 2 days of this transfer window. Is it possible? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I think a deal of this magnitude to get Ronaldo from Man United at this point would be too complex. Would Chelsea be able to agree a wage fee with Ronaldo to sign? Would he want to come? I'd say yes, because although United have won their last 2 games, Ronaldo's been on the bench. So I'm not entirely sure if he's going to be too happy with that. But I don't think this one will happen. I think a more likely transfer, if Chelsea don't get Aubameyang, is Wilfried Zaha. Wilfried Zaha is available for transfer. We've always seen different flirtatious moves towards Wilfried Zaha from other big clubs. He's always happy at Crystal Palace. We've already heard that. Wilfried Zaha, I think, would be open to the move. I think the fact that he's only got 1 year left at Crystal Palace means if Chelsea don't get Aubameyang, a more realistic move would be to go for Wilfried Zaha. He can go through the middle, yes. He can also be used out wide. And I think that Wilfried Zaha actually fits the kind of mould and template of a player that Thomas Tuchel wants to use, you know? Kai Havertz, Mount, Sterling, that's the current go-to front 3, considering Ziyech's about to go back to Ajax. Callum Hudson-Odoi is in Leverkusen now, about to sign on loan. Timo Werner's gone. Romelu Lukaku is gone, and that is the kind of attacker that Tuchel wants. However, comparatively, I think Chelsea do need more of an out-and-out striker, which leads me to think Aubameyang or Ronaldo would be a better option. But I do think realistically, for Chelsea to get a deal done for Zaha before deadline day, even though the desire to move is probably not as strong as maybe Ronaldo wanting to leave United and the potential of United letting him go. I think for Chelsea to get a deal done, it could be easier to get Wilfried Zaha over Cristiano Ronaldo, depending if we get Aubameyang or not. Aubameyang's the first choice. We've got to remember that. The final transfer that I do think Chelsea could and maybe will get done before the deadline day window closes is Anthony Gordon. We have seen us push for it. At the moment, the issue is the gap in the valuation between what Everton think he's worth and what they want to sell him for and what Chelsea are willing to pay. The reason I think Chelsea might be willing to actually match Everton's valuation is because Ziyech's about to go. That's the domino effect of Ajax selling Anthony to Manchester United. So Ajax want to replace him. Ziyech's the natural replacement for them. Chelsea now might be willing to accept something between 25 and 30 million. Negotiations at the time of me recording this video, when you guys see this, Ziyech is almost out. With Hudson-Odoi gone as well, Chelsea do need reinforcements. We've got Christian Pulisic is currently not first choice, with Mount and Sterling and Havertz being picked ahead of him. Other than that, we're either going to be looking at Harvey Vale being promoted, or out of nowhere, somebody else is going to have to come up in conversation here. So I think Anthony Gordon is going to happen. To conclude this video of 5 potential transfers Chelsea could get done, I think realistically, Aubameyang and also Gordon coming through the door would be a decent end to the window, because it does give us 2 more attackers in what has looked like a pretty blunt Chelsea attack line, and with few options on the bench as well. That is what I think will happen. If we can get Frenkie De Jong on top of that, and we sign one of either Ronaldo, Zaha or Aubameyang, as well as Gordon, I think this can go down as a sensational window for Chelsea. We're still waiting on confirmation of Wesley Fofana passing his medical, but deals agreed with Leicester, personal terms agreed with the player. We're just simply waiting now to hope that Wesley Fofana passes the second part of his medical. If that falls through, I'm going to be mind blown. But if Chelsea can get any of 2 minimum, 3 brilliant of these deals done before deadline day, I think we can all be absolutely elated. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of all the players today that we've mentioned in this video, maybe you can throw an Ivan Toney in there. I've seen a lot of people tweet me that. Mitrovic is another one that I would love, but just because I've not heard anything about any interest at this point, I'm only going with 5 that we've actually seen concrete links for, which gives more potential and probability of it happening. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't checked the news from earlier, or 6 things we learned from the Leicester game, make sure you go and check those videos out. I'll leave a link to both in the description. Let me know, what do you think of these 5 players in the comments down below. Come on, you Blues.